Hello everyone and welcome to Watkins Glen Track Guide. Once again today we are using the Porsche 911 with medium tires. That is the same rule for every single hot lap we're doing. Good exit of the last turn before to start with the long straight. For that first braking point we're looking at the sign on your left and a little before the 200-meter board, hard braking, trail braking to second gear, cut the apex and go back on throttle. You can use the whole curb at the exit as soon as you keep your two right wheel on the curb. And then flat out until the next turn, which will be the bus stop. The famous bus stop is a really hard turn to take. Brake at the 300-meter board and then turn your car to cut the first corner as much as you can. You want to be as close as you can at the first barrier. Then use the whole curb of the second turn, and it's when you want to go back on throttle to then cut the third and the fourth curb as much as you can, keeping the car really straight to go to the next turn. Lift when the curb on your right starts and go down to third gear. When you clear that road on your right, go back on throttle smoothly and use the whole width of the track. We're now looking at the 200-meter board and brake right after the board. It's a pretty difficult turn because it's downhill. You want to trail brake and look at the late apex, go back on throttle and use the curb on the exit. Another difficult brake here, I like to brake right before the last Gran Turismo sign, go down to second gear and try to kiss the apex. I like to go back on throttle as soon as I clear that mark in the barrier and go as fast as you can flat out. We are now looking at the 200-meter board, heavy braking, trail braking, touch the apex, and use the whole width of the track to go back on throttle. And here we are braking right before the 100-meter board, go down to second gear, and wait a little longer than what you think to go back on throttle, and once again use the whole width of the track. Right before the 100-meter board, we just lift, try to cut the corner just a little bit, and go back on throttle and use the whole track, even a little of the curb on the exit. For the last turn, I like to look at the difference in structure in the barrier and brake here just enough to be able to cut the last corner, and then as soon as you can go back on throttle to have the maximum speed in the straight. And that is enough for 1:45.960, which at the time of the recording was a top 800. And let's now watch a full lap with keywords to remember all the braking points. Let's go!